blessed. Wake up thanking God, he showed me how to reinvest. All this stress, I was giving game to you peons from the gate. Use my own self as examples, I live raw and never hate.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of TNC Reacts. I got an interesting one. We're talking about entitlement on the sidewalk, or people that are too entitled. And what I mean by that is we have an epidemic where people think that they can walk up on strangers and ask them, why are you in this neighborhood? Now, some people may think it's okay because they have this mindset that they come from an authoritarian level. They might say, okay, I'm coming from this position of power. I have the right to ask anybody who and what they're doing here, whether it's in an apartment complex or if it's in a neighborhood of any sort that they may deem that's theirs. But honestly, it's harassment. And I think when it starts happening, instead of picking out your phone and just recording and arguing with the person, you need to record and say, look, I don't have any spare change. And if you keep bothering the residents around here, I'm going to call the police for you panhandling.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
And I think that might cause these people to leave you alone because there's only two groups that ask you what you're doing here. Gangs and white folks. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. If you look at all the videos, you got gang members saying, what you doing here, cuz? Hey, man, what are you doing here, vato? Whatever language you want to use. And then the other side is, why are you in this neighborhood? So these are people who think that they have authority over certain locations that ask you why you're here and what you're doing here. Which seems to be, the only difference is one is considered an organization where one is just a race base. But what's the real difference in between the mindset and attitude? Nothing really, because they think they have dominance over the person they're asking the question. Otherwise, they wouldn't ask it. Because truth be told, they don't ask other people that look like them what they're doing there. How many YT people do you think are walking around questioning other YT people? Hey, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Because they don't perceive them as a threat or a danger or perceive them as to be lesser than. So they think that, okay, I'm going to ask you and you better answer me, because if not, we're going to have problems. And I think a lot of times people don't understand how that comes off. That's why they don't understand when something goes awry. They don't understand that it's actually an antagonistic behavior. Because say, for instance, I'm chilling minding my business and you come up to me and ask me what I'm doing here, I need to leave. But you actually are not a teacher, you're not anything, you're not a police officer, you're not security, anything like that. And you just walk up on me telling me that, you're starting a very hostile situation. And that's just what it is. So you need to be understanding that, hey, what I say next is really predicated based on how you approached me. And don't sit here and act like y'all approach y'all innocently, because you don't. You come up with a kind of blamatory position, or kind of like, what are you doing here? You know, that type of attitude. And if you approach people with that type of attitude, you're never going to get anything positive back. You approach, anybody approach me and be like, what you doing here? I'm going to be like, what? What are you doing here? Minding my own business. Go away. I'm going to instantly respond like that, because I'm going to be wondering who gave you, or where'd you get the audacity to harass me? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's hard for some cultures to grasp, to understand, to realize that you don't really have the right to speak to me. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. But for some reason, people just cannot understand that. They only understand that I thought it, I'm going to do it, and I deserve to have this answer. Regardless of what my position is, you're going to tell me what I want to know. And if you don't, we're going to have a problem. And if you ever see it, when they initiate it, and then the other person who's being harassed responds in the same or equal or higher level, then everybody says, well, they didn't have to go that far. Then the person who initiated always plays victim afterwards, and it's a skill set to go victim after you initiated something. But once the level goes to a new one, people want to say, oh, well, they went too far. You harassing me. I have a right to go wherever I want to go with it because I was minding my own business. You know, entitlement is something that's very interesting because it's hard to explain it to people who inherently believe they have it. They have it so much that they don't even realize that it's an entitled position. So to try to explain it to them can come off difficult because they're like, I don't see the problem. You can't see the problem because no one's approaching you like that. But if someone did, you would be like, how dare you think that you can talk to me like this? But because when you're in a position of power or a perceived position of power and society holds you to a different standard than everyone else, yeah, it can be confusing for you. But let me know what you think in the comments section. Is entitlement a problem? Is entitlement getting to a point where people really think that they just have authority over everybody? I mean, let me know what you think. And be on the lookout for more videos. All right, everybody? Peace.